Good morning everyone, especially to Ma'am Sevelia. Elementary level in grade 1. Many children, especially those living in urban communities, had gone to nursery and kindergarten schools where they had their earliest experiences in school music. The teacher can help much in making this group feel comfortable and adjust to the new situation. While the first group have aligned with their peers, the newcomers are still in the winning stage from the protective arms of their parents. Nevertheless, during their socializing period, where physical activity is the predominant undertaking, both groups indulge in play. The most competitive thing they like to do, this is the time where music helps to adjust groups to feel as one. Singing in grade 1. Sing in natural and pleasing tones. Sing many short and simple songs. Sing dialogue or question to answer songs in correct rhythm and information. Listening in grade 1. Distinguish between music and noise. Identify note progressions to ascending, descending, and repeated. Identify song styles like folk song, march, lullaby, carol. Recognize high and low tones or speech, fast and low tones for duration, loud and soft tones for dynamics. Reading in grade 1. Read the text of simple songs. Identify the notes through numbers and letters. Recognize like and unlike, similar and dissimilar, melodic and rhythmic patterns. Playing in grade 1. Play simple notation by ear and blank notation. Play instruments of the instrumental rhythm band, kitchen utensils, xylophones, bottles, and glasses for harmonic rhythmic accompaniment to songs recordings. Moving in grade 1. Take part in action songs and singing games. Keep time to music according to the structure of notes. Respond to pulse or beat by clamping, tapping, jumping, skipping, and etc. Creating in grade 1. Create rhythmic accompaniments to songs learned. Color or paint the mood of songs like red, orange for happy music, black, blue for sad music. Elementary level in grade 2. The grade 2 child is full of energy and vitality. He is interested in fairy tales and myths of all kinds, which should be reflected in the many songs he will sing. Experiences in grade 1 will be extended in addition to the expected goals for grade 2. Singing in grade 2. Sing in clear tones and words to convey the correct meaning of text. Follow notation while singing. Listening in grade 2. Recognize repeated phrases and familiar phrases. Identify predominant mood of music. Kung ito ba ay happy and sad. Reading in grade 2. Read notes from musical symbols. Determine intervals of seconds, thirds, fourths, and fifths.
The high school student Charles Hopper wrote in his book Teaching Music in Secondary School. Dr. Charles Hopper, he is an American music educator. He was born in East Lansing, Michigan in December 12, 1929. His father was a sociology professor at Michigan State University. He earned BM and PhD degrees from Michigan State University in East Lansing. So there are 4 problems areas confronting the music teacher about high school students. So the first is transition. It is in between the ages 12 to 15. The student undergoes a transition from childhood to adulthood. This problem requires mass adjustment. So the second problem is emancipation from adult authority. Adolescents usually want to be free from adult control, but at the same time, they want supervision because they do not know how to get along without it. So the third one is awareness of sex. Society has no well-defined attitude towards sex. The adult world preaches chastity before marriage, yet at a novel with a good dose of promiscuity and easily to be a bestseller. So the fourth one or the last one is the formation of concepts about him. It is marked by inconsistency and extreme feeling of adolescent emotions. So maturization brings about distinctive tonal characteristics that differentiates alto and soprano. There is not drastic changes of pitch in girls. In most cases, the voice change occurs simultaneously with other bodily maturation. So let's proceed to the secondary level. First is utilize music as a life-giving force in education. Second, translate terms and symbols for literate musical reading. Third is acquire familiarity with standard instrument used in music. The fourth is develop intelligent and discriminate value judgment of the aesthetics. And the last is gain mastery of the basic rudiments in music. So let's proceed to the first year. They have 5 components. So first is singing. In singing, you must sing with pleasant sonorous voice, pronounce and enunciate clearly, sing rounds and canons effectively, feel the mood of Mark's lullaby, develop fellowship through singing songs from other places. So the second component is listening. So in listening, you must listen the music, distinguish between consonants and dissonance, recognize parts of rhythm, identify performed doing solo, duet, or trio, and recognize female and male voice. So the third component is reading and writing. So you must read notes from letters and numbers with facility. Recognize similar or dissimilar melodic and rhythm patterns. Compare blank notation with note progression on the staff, skip-wise or skill-wise. Develop concepts about rhythm and melody. Read notes with fluency on the grand staff of G and F clips. So the fourth one is playing instrumental. So you must play musical games. Use bodily movement to show rhythmic flow of music. So third is recognize similarities between rondalia, instrument in shape and sound. Develop awareness of melodic progression. And the last is play pre-band instrument, recorder or ocarina. So the last component is creating. You must create a words to music of simple song. Write new music to original words. Compose short melodies about pictures and natures. Interpret music through body responses. Set the music questions. Answer phrases.
Good morning everyone, I am Jinky Maninday and this is my report. First is the grade 4. The grade 4 child is responsible, perfectionist yet critical of himself. Strong interests are beginning to develop and at the same time eliminating fairy tales and fantasies. So as an educator, you know so much of teaching is building relationship with your students. So let's proceed the listening. Listening, identify sounds of groups of instruments. Okay, percussion. Percussion instruments are musical, produce sounds when an object hits, shakes against another object. Brass instruments are musical instruments made of brass. The lips are firmly pressed against the mouth of the instrument to produce a vibration and a sound. Okay, so woodwind instrument. Musical instrument can from wood generally. One is string instrument. String instrument produce music by vibrating. The string and vibration are gathered by the reeds where the string at are at the one end, which transfer it to the sounds box to make the sounds louder. Orchestra. Identify percussive instrument with the pitch. Piano melody bells, toy organ, marimbal, and without pitch, gong, triangles, and drum. Feel the tempo of melody, puerto allegro, andante, adagio, presto. So let's proceed the playing. Learn to play the chords of the guitar and the key of C. Play the bandora of melody parts. Play the ottave note to supplement melody parts of the bandora. Participation. Learn the technique of playing the recorder. So let's proceed the moving. Acquire a repetition of action songs, singing games, dance to the range of songs, recording indicate praise lengths through hand, level, and bodily. The last is movements. Response accordingly to fundamental movement as walking, running, skipping, jumping, leaping, and etc. Take part of variety of simple folk dances. So let's proceed the grade 5. There is some more mature development of girls in classroom activities and interest in the folk dancing which is not shared by most boys. The boys' energetic activities are sports which account for the physical laziness for music. When students are more involved in designing their learning experiences, they end up having better grasps of the goal of the lesson and are more attached to the learning outcomes. So let's proceed the singing. Sing counted melodies, partner songs. Okay. Acquire a wide repertoire of varied song condiments, popular tones. So listen to recording of the rondals, orchestra, piano for tonal. Discrimination. Identify chains of rhyme and a composition recognize shifting of melody. Become aware that the qualities of a musical piece are determined by the types of voices or instrumental use. Listen to recordings of female voices, soprano and alto. So let's proceed the reading. Recognize rondo form ABACA. Read the notes and transpose form. Understand the value of one dot placed after a note. So let's proceed the playing. Play simple flute-like instruments and record. Observe production of sounds that depicts modernesses. To track extend use of instrument for rhyme, melody, and harmony. Play harmonic accompaniment with the guitar. Play melody parts using the recorder boundaries. and play with the concentration in group assemblies. So let's proceed the moving. Moving, a dance to the music of recording of 3/4 time signature. A march or do some fundamental movement to time signature of 2/. So last is the grade 6. Physically, there are marked difference between grade 6 boys and girls. Peer approval is a stronger motivating force than adult approval. There is a great need to conform to expectations of the peer group. Each child is working hard to be accepted by the group. So let's proceed the sing. Sing varied songs, unison, do with 3 and 4 parts song. Sing pop music composed by Filipinos. So and next is voices. Appreciate music for other lands. Distinct